One mini world, one creation dream.
Now to the MiniVerse screen. But as always, just before continuing, I just wanna say hi. So how are you guys? Welcome to the class number 4 officially. We are going to start right now. For this class, I moved the schedule a little bit, so we are going to learn how to set up and create the power-ups inside your map. Also, we are going to learn something important, guys, that a lot of you already know, but I just want to show this to all of you that didn't know very well this. And is that we have a class about how to edit game files. That means to mess with the code directly from MiniVerse and be able to do some awesome things like changing models, like changing icons. And also with this we are going to create our mounts, because it's very important, guys. You can download a lot of plugins from the plugin center, but today you are going to learn to create a mount from zero that is going to have skills and that is going to have some custom stats that allow you to create like different mounts. Okay, so that's going to be very important, and I know that a lot of you were requesting me through Discord this and through the messages, so we are going to check that. Now for the next class, we are going to have the skin store, we are going to have the text tricks and the tricks for models and the tricks for buffs. So let me start with power-ups, okay guys? I know power-ups, it's the part that left in the game. Right now, as always, you should have a game that is completely pliable, that actually you will be able to use guns, you will be able to shoot, but probably you find out that actually you are not going to have more bullets, because you are going to run out of bullets, and there is nothing right now that is renewing that. So that's why we are going to mess with power-ups, okay? So now let me switch to MiniVerse. In MiniVerse, I'm going to open the map that we always are working with, the map that we use as a template for this minicamp. And we are going to start with mess with some specific things, okay? Before teach you how to spawn those buffs, before teaching you how to create those buffs in the floor, I'm going to teach you how to create a system to pick up those, okay? So what we are going to do, guys, we are going to access to our plugin menu right here in the top. Remember, this is the icon for the plugin menu, okay? And you are going to hit just on here. Right now, you are going to see all the plugins that you have for your map. So what I need you to do, I need you to just go to props and creatures, okay? We are going to start with creatures better. So remember, in the class number 3, we create all the objects for the game. In this class, we also pick up or create the option to pick up the head or the second life, okay? So we are going to start with the laserdisc. Remember, we are going to select the laserdisc, but not the one in props, the one in creatures, okay? So what you are going to do, you need to be sure that you are going to change the model, and the model is going to be the same model of your disc, okay? Actually, we already set up that, so I'm not going to go deeper on this. If you want to check how it works, just check the class number 3. Just go ahead to the channel, and remember, in the channel we have all the classes. And also don't forget to subscribe in case you aren't subscribed. And yeah, so you don't miss up all the next classes, you're not going to miss any information. So what is going to be the important part here? We are going to start creating some partial triggers for this one, okay? So in total, we have 3 triggers for each power-up, okay? So actually you don't need the 3 of them, but I create 3 of them, okay? So let me show you in the game, in the actual game, how it works, how it looks actually. So I will be sure that you are going to have a fully understanding about this, okay? So you are going to see that right now I don't have items, okay? And in some seconds, 19, 18 seconds, actually, I'm going to receive some items. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up those items. But you are going to see that not only we will be able to pick up those items, we will be able also to walk over that specific disk, and let me show you. Okay, that wasn't like I was expected. Okay, check this. Okay, so we are going to have different ways to pick this. The first one is just by hitting the disk, as I just did. The second one is going to be to pass over with the mouse, and the third one is going to be also just to cross or pass over this disk in the floor, but just with the plier, not with the mount. Okay, and also notice that the disk has a specific effect, so we are going to do all the three things. Okay, so let me start. Okay, so you are going to go back and you are going to access, as always, to the disk, and I see that FX is saying hi. So hi, how are you? Welcome to the class. So you are going to go to creatures, you are going to go to your laser disk, to partial trigger, and you are going to add a new trigger. Okay, you are going to rename it, you are going to put FX on it, and this is very simple, guys. The action is going to be, the event is going to be when this is created. It's around this area, yes, when it's being created, and the action is going to be to apply an effect on the creature. Okay, remember this is a creature, so you have to select a special effect, and you need to use the one that says create or play a special effect on creature. All right, and right now I'm using the light effect 5. You can use whatever you want on the creature in the event. Okay, that is the easiest one. Then you are going to create a new trigger, guys. Okay, the new trigger is going to be named as a pickup or pick item, and we are going to add 2 events for this. Okay, so the first event is going to be where a player collides with the actual object. Okay, so remember also the events for when you are editing or you adding triggers directly to an object, to a plugin. It's going to be different parameters and different events. Okay, so in this one we are going to look for the one that says collision. Okay, and then we are going to add a new one, and we are going to select when it's clicked by players. Okay, we are going to have 2 events, and this is actually a little bit of trick. Okay, so you are going to add a new condition. The condition is to be sure that the one that is clicking is a player, okay, or is colliding is a player, because you don't want to activate this when another disk collides or something similar. What you are going to do is to add a new condition. This is a trick. This is actually a condition that will assure that the creature or the mob or the object that is executing the action is a player. And what you are going to do is you are going to add a new condition. You are going to add the condition that says a player, okay, determine team. Okay, you can use this, or you can use the trick that I teach you the last class, that is check if the player has a maximum attribute. Okay, so you are going to use determine in which player set. When player in trigger event is yes in all players, that means that if it's a creature, it's not going to be in all players. That is going to avoid to execute this on creatures. And then you are going to add some specific action. The first one is that we are going to go to players and add an item. Okay, so remember, this is going to work for all the pickable items that you are going to have in the game. Okay, and the item is going to be 1, and is going to be your laser disc or your actually projectile ammunition. Okay, so in my case, remember, in your case too, that's going to be inside custom or projectiles. Okay, it's going to be the first one is the laser disc ammunition. Okay, the one that you have in plugins. and you are going to use to select to target player, okay? Very important, we already add the item to the player inventory. Now we need to kill the creature, because if we didn't do that, every time that the player hits the creature again, it's going to get a disc, okay? So you are going to add a new action, creature, and remove creature, okay? Remove creature, this one. And you are going to remove the creature in the vent. And just to have a little bit more of information for the players, you are going to add a sound, okay? The sound is going to be for the players, so just go to sound, players turn on sound event, and I place this sound. I'm going to pause the music a little bit, so you will be able to hear it, and this is the sound that I placed. As you see, it's Mark 11, and it's a very dim sound. It's not a big sound. It's not something that is very that is taking the player attention. Just something simple that the player will hear to know that actually is working, and he picks up the disc. Okay, so that's the sound I pick up for this one. And we already finished the first one, okay? So what we are going to do, we also need to create the same trigger, but this time what we need to do is that make sure that the actual one that hits that is the match, and also we need to be sure that we are providing this to the player that is over the match, okay? So this is very simple, guys. What we are going to do is just the same conditions, but what we are going to do is to create an area over the creature. The area is going to be 1 block by 1 block, and is going to check if the player is over the creature. That's the trick. The area is going to be an area with a lot of altitude. It's going to be 3 blocks from the altitude, and with that we are going to check if the player is right over there, okay? If there is no player, we don't pick anything, okay? So you are going to add a new trigger. The new trigger name is going to be mount check, okay? Now that you already have this, we are going to add a new event, okay? So the event is going to be creature collides, just the same one that we used at the beginning in the previous trigger. Then I'm going to add a new condition, guys, okay? So the condition, as always, is going to be just an empty condition. It's just something that we use to be sure that the creature is the one that is executing this. So just hit on creature and creature attribute, okay, guys? Then, in creature attribute, you are going to check creature in event max HP, and it needs to be greater or equal, and very important, guys, greater or equal to 1. If you change this, probably it's not going to work, okay? Now, for the actions, here is the trick. So some of you were asking me why I use player ID right here, okay? So what we are going to use or do for player ID is to check if there is any player over the creature, okay? So very important, you are going to add a new action, you are going to add assign, and you are going to select player setup, okay? So once you are in player setup, you are going to create this specific variable that is going to be called player ID. If you don't have it, you need to create it. The player's player ID variable, okay? Now we are going to set this player ID as template library or function library, and you are going to select random player in player set. With this, we are going to create our player set according to the area that is over the creature or over the mount that we are using, okay? So when you get this, you are going to add a new function, and you are going to select all players in an area, okay? Once you select all the players in an area, you are going to have this condition, and you are going to finally convert a location into a region, because we just got the position where the event happens when the two creatures, the disc and the mount, get collide, and we are going to transform that in an area, okay? So just hit on here, function library, convert location to an area, and you are going to have the final dialog. So just select event position, and those are going to be the dimensions that you need to use. The first number is a 1, the second one is a 3.5, and finally, but not least, we have the number 1. Actually, the least. Okay, it's the last one, sorry. And yeah, just add that action, and then all the other things are going to be just the same that you already had for the pick item, but we are going to add the lamination to the player ID variable, okay? So just add the add an item, add 1 laserdisc ammunition to player 1. So if you see, another cool thing that you can do is just copy and paste this trigger. Once you copy this one, you are going to delete the condition and the second event, and you are going to add the new condition, the one that I just teach you, and then you are going to add the setup, the first action, okay? Remember, the ordering is important, so the first action needs to be that one, and all the others are going to be just the same, okay? Just remember, to test this, you need to save and return and enter the game, okay? When you hit enter the game, you will be able to play, okay? Now, very important things, guys, okay, that I want to show you. Just give me a second here. And is that we are going to have the same condition, the same actions, but for your head. Remember, guys, in my case it's going to be a head, in your case is going to be, as an example, an armor, or if I see some slime map, so I remember that the slime map, in the slime map is going to be the size of your slime. Just remember, it's the item that allows you to have an extra life or recover an extra life, okay? So it's going to be just the same, okay? But the pickup option for this one is going to be only if the player is not mounted. Why? Because remember, the mount is going to be the first life. And the actions are going to be a little bit different, okay? So you are going to create first the same option that you did before, okay? And let me explain a little bit better, okay? So you create a new trigger. Once it's created, you are going to change the name to created or effects. You are going to add the first event. The event is when this creature is being created, and you are going to add the effect just like we did. In my case, in my situation, as I'm creating just heads in the floor, what I'm going to do also is to have this specific condition that adds the buff that removes the body for this mob, okay? Remember, in the last class, in the last class or in the previous one, I teach you how to create that buff that allows you to create actually to create that buff that allows you to remove the head or to remove the body of the player, okay? So in my case, the dummy or the thing that you pick on the floor is a head, and it's a dummy for a mob. That's why I need to add this effect, but you actually don't need to add it in case you are not using heads, okay? Now, moving down, we have the option of pick up, okay? This is going to be a little bit different from the previous one. So the previous one is whenever you want to get an item if you hit that mob, okay? But this one, the one that you are going to see right now, is going to be different because it's going to give you or remove a buff in case you actually hit the item, but also it's going to check if your player has that buff, okay? So how we are going to create that? You are going to create a new trigger. You are going to rename it as the pick up, okay? And remember, guys, this is inside the object, okay? Not in the plugin, not in the trigger options in the developer tools, just in the plugin editor, where it says partial trigger for the object that is a creature that allows you to have this effect, okay? I see, so welcome, escape, pip, and lop. Welcome to the class. How are you? No, Kenzie, I didn't get my vaccine for the coronavirus. That's why I get infected. But as soon as I recover from the coronavirus, I will have to actually do that. Okay. All right, guys. So first thing that we have to do here is that we have to add a new event. Okay. So you are going to hit here and you are going to add a new one, and as always is going to be the collision event. Okay, when the collision event gets activated, what you are going to do is you are going to add a new condition. Okay, the condition is going to be very easy, guys. You are going to use and select player, and you are going to determine if player has a status. So just hit here, and the status is going to be for target player in event. Very important, guys. Don't select players in trigger event. You are going to select target player in the event. Yes, and that you need to hit, of course, on template library. And remember, when you lose your armor, when you lose the second life, we are going to add a buff to a player. In this case, it's going to be headless. In your case, could be armorless, or I don't know, medium size slime or things like that. Okay, so just think about it, and yeah, you are going to have that one on there. Now, what is going to be the first thing that we are going to do? As the second life is a buff, okay, what we are going to do is just to remove that effect from the player. Okay, so with that we are going to recover the life, and this is the first option that we are going to do because we want the player to just have that fixed as soon as possible. Okay, so just hit add player and remove effect. Okay, in remove effect, of course, you are going to remove the headless or your second life buff. Okay, then what we are going to have, we are going to remove the creature in the event. So you know already how to do it. Just go to creature and remove creature, this one, not the creature type, just the creature, and creature in the event. Play an effect for that one. As always, I'm going to just stop the music a little bit to show you the sound effect. Okay, so I also play an effect on the player. A visual effect is going to be the light effect number 1. And also I have a sound. The sound is this one, as my game is based on Androids. But of course your game could be different. You could have, I don't know, cavesmen, or you can have soldiers, or you can have whatever you want. So just be sure that you place a sound that it gets according to your art style. Okay, and that's it, guys. With this, we already will be able to pick up heads, and we will be able to pick up some specific mobs effects. Okay, but very important, guys. Remember, I teach you. I'm going to create another buff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to teach you how to create this buff from zero. Okay, imagine that in your game you want to spawn also, I don't know, a speed effect that actually is going to add the player more speed if the player pickups. So what you have to do for this, you need to create a new creature. So you are going to create a new creature from zero. Just place a description. In my case, it's going to be speed buff. I'm not going to personalize like all the other things. I'm going to go strength to the creature attributes. Okay, and what we are going to do is to select just a random model for that creature. Okay, so for now I'm going to use this one. Now we are going to delete this because we don't want it. We are just going to save and return. We are going to add the creature to the map. And once you add the creature to the map, you are going to go straight here. You are going to add a new one. You are going to rename it, as always, as power up. Remember, it's just creating something very similar to the previous one. Okay, and what we are going to add, as always, a collision. Okay, if the collision is with a player, just in that case, and the action is going to be that first we are going to add the player an effect. Okay, the effect is going to be, you can choose from the library. In this case, I'm not going to go deeper in that, but I'm going to add a sprint. Okay, this is going to give 75% more speed to the player. Remain is going to be false, and we are going to have this poof for 10 seconds. Okay, now, as always, if you see here, that's very important. That's why I teach you to use target player, because in this case, the target player is going to be the player that hits the creature, because the target creature is going to be the one that executes the event. So you can see here, if you press on here, you can see all the parameters that this event has, okay? And now, as always, we are going to remove the creature. So just hit remove creature. And of course, you can add the sound and effect, okay? For now, I just not going to add that because I just want to just give you a quick check about that, okay? So let me show you. I'm going to place on here on this new buff, okay? All right, let's get down here. And where is that one? I didn't see it. Okay, it's probably because if you don't see it, it's because you have to do the next thing, and is you need to enter the game again, okay? So just 1 second. On this time, I will be able to access. It's taking a little bit. Okay. So now I will have that creature. I'm going to place it into the map. Okay, developer, plugins, and we have the creature right here, okay? So I'm going to put one and one at this side, and the other side, okay? I cannot put it there, I have it right here. And very important, guys, notice that the creature model is moved from the center, okay? So that's very important. It's going to be a little bit hard, so just to see, I'm going to use this one, okay? I'm going to use this model for now to this side, and there is the creature. And I'm also going to do a double check over the script, over the trigger. Okay, let's see. As you see, now I got the buff just by hitting the creature. So that's how you can create a different buffs. So remember that if you want to create more buffs for your game, it's going to be okay. For now, I'm just teaching you how to do an extra buff, but you can create as much as you want it, okay? So guys, in this point, we already have like the way to pick up this specific mobs, but there's something that we missed, and is that actually we need to create a system to spawn those buffs in the floor, okay? So those buffs are going to have a small brain, okay? So we need to create like literally 3 different triggers that are going to be very simple. And how it's going to work, as always, I need to add a specific shape, so you will be able to follow where I am. And yeah, this is what is going to happen. We have a timer, as always, for most our brains in game, but this time is differently from the others. This one is something that repeats itself, so it's going to have 18 seconds as an example, and it's going to take the time, 18 seconds, When it comes to the 2 seconds left to end that one, we are going to execute something that is going to change, or try to change, the actual buff that is going to spawn in game. Okay, the actual creature that we are going to spawn, so players will be able to pick up the power up, okay? And then when it left 1 second to repeat itself, we are going to generate that one. And that's how it works. We have one that is being called generate, one that is called change, and finally we have one that is being called head, that actually is going to be the one that change the creature in the map for the head, okay? And that's how it's going to work. So let me show you how it's going to work in actual screen, how you can do this in the actual game, okay? So first thing first, you are going to open the trigger editor in the developer tools. We are going to create a new trigger set and you are going to rename it as a power-ups, okay? All right, so welcome. Actually, I'm not able to see your screen, but you are being locked down by by YouTube. Sorry for that. I don't know how to pronounce your name because I see that is on type, so I won't be able to see the information. But yeah, YouTube is blocking your comments. It seems that you will need to use English to allow YouTube to show that. Okay, so now for power-ups, you are going to just create the next triggers. First, we are going to add a trigger. The trigger name is going to be change. Okay, guys, very easy, change. That's going to be the trigger name, okay? And when you add the change one, we are going to add a new power-up, okay? So the first event is going to be add. We are going to go to game logic, and we are going to use designate a timer change, okay? So designate a timer change is going to ask us for which timer. So you are going to hit here and you are going to select power up timer. Probably you already have this one by the previous triggers that we have created, but if you don't have it, just add it as a new variable that is being called or is going to be called power up timer, okay? That's it. Now for the conditions, this is very important, okay? So you are going to add a numerical comparison, okay? And in numerical comparison, you are going to select function library and timer time. The timer time is going to be the power up timer and it needs to be equals. And this is very important, guys. If you place something different here, it's not going to work properly. So you are going to hit equals to 2, okay? To the number 2. And I'm going to explain why. Most of the times, in most of the triggers, we use the timer number 0, or the amount of time that left as 0 to execute an action, because it's something that doesn't repeat itself. But when this trigger repeats itself, you will have to use the number 1 or the number 2 to execute some events, because if you use the number 0, it's not going to work when the timer repeats, okay? That's very important, guys. Now, we are going to add a new action, okay? Guys, the action is going to be to set up a value, okay? So, how do you do that? Just hit here. You are going to select again assign. Remember, all the variables are going to be in assigned. You are going to select value setup, okay? And what you are going to do is to set up power up. So this one, you need to create it. Just hit here and create it. If you don't have it, okay? So just select new variable and it's going to be on there. The name is going to be power up. And we are going to set up power up as a random number. So how do you get the random number? Just go to math and select a random number, okay? So the random number is going to be a number in between 1 and 2, okay? And the action that is going to be next is to create or execute a trigger. So we are going to first create a trigger just without any action or event, just to be able to add that, okay? So just hit create a new trigger, and the new trigger name is going to be head, okay? Just select head, and once you select head, you are going to just go again or go back to change, and once you are in change, what you are going to add is just on here a new action. The action is going to be triggers. It's just on here, operate trigger, okay? And the operate trigger is going to be head, okay? So you need to select the trigger that we just created, that the name is head and is in the same trigger set. And you are going to check the conditions as true. This is very important, guys. Conditions needs to be true. If you place false on here, probably it's not going to work. Now, we already have this. Then we are going to add some actions to your head trigger. So first, you are not going to do any event actually, but you are going to add a new condition. The condition is going to be numerical comparison, okay? And in numerical comparison, the first one that you are going to select is the variable power up, and it's going to be equals to 1, okay? And then we are going to do something special. So you probably know this if you assist to the class about natural disasters, but we are going to take a chance, a probability to execute this trigger, okay? So this is going to give us any number between 100 and 0, and if the number is bigger or lesser than 25, that means only the 25% of the times it's going to be executed, it's going to change the actual head of the player, the actual buff for a head, okay? So how do you do that? What you have to do is just hit here a new condition. We are going to add a new condition. The condition is math numerical comparison. And when you get numerical comparison, in the first one, you are going to select function library, math, and random number. And the way you do it is the next thing. In the numbers, you are going to place random number in between 0 and 100. And this is very important, guys, as we are going to take a 20% of the chances to get or change that buff. You are going to select less than 25. So imagine that you want to do something that only happens the 80% of the time. So just copy this like you are seeing on the screen, but change the number here. Instead of 25, place 80%, 80, okay? But that's how it works, okay? And the action is the simple thing that you can do. So what we are going to do, we are going to change a creature, okay? A creature variable. So what you are going to do is to add a new action. You are going to select assigned, and you are going to select creature type, okay? Not creature. You are going to select creature type instead, okay? Setup. And on here, you are going to create a new variable. The variable is being called power up mob. And that's a creature type. Is going to tell the game which creature is going to be executed. And once you have that, you need to go to your template library, and you are going to select the mob that is being called creature head. Okay, it's going to be cyber head in my case. Select that one, and you already have the creature type. Okay, and that's it. Right now you have the creature spawned, but we left something. And let me rearrange here just to have the same triggers order that you are going to have. Now we have this one that says generate, okay? So with the previous one, what actually we do is just to change the creature just in case that is going to be spawned, just in case we get a specific number. But for the new that we are going to do, we need to actually spawn the normal disk or spawn any creature, okay? Even the creature that has been changed. So we are going to create a new trigger. You are going to rename it as a generate, okay? And what you have to do is first add it's going to be almost the same conditions here. So something that you can do also is just instead of creating, just copy and paste the head trigger. But in case you create it from 0, so the condition is going to be game logic, designate timer change. The timer is going to be power up timer. Now you are going to add a condition. The condition is math numerical comparison. In numerical comparison, select function library, timer time. It's on general, timer time. And as always, we are going to put equals to 1, and we need to be sure that the timer time is power up. And this is going to be executed right after change. Okay, 1 second after change, we are going to execute this. And the actions are going to be the next one, okay? So the first thing is that we are going to create 2 blocks, okay? So let me show you in the screen what we are going to do. Remember that in the last class, we create this area, okay? This specific couple of blocks or set of blocks that are going to be different from the normal floor, okay? What is going to do this? This is going to be the area where the puffs or also the disc are going to be spawned, okay? And what we want with this is that if all the other floor gets completely deleted by the game, the players will be able to still picking up some disk from here, okay? And also this area is not going to be deleted. That's why it's different from your normal blocks, the blocks that you can delete, okay? So I placed two different areas per team right here. Remember, you can use however amount you want it, but be sure that the players are going to have enough disk, okay? And what I did is actually to create some areas, okay? Some points, sorry. So you are going to hit here on tool mode, and you are going to hit the number 2, and you are going to create in the center of each area a point, okay? And you are going to rename it. What I did is to actually place names for it: disk blue 1, disk blue 2, disk red, and disk red number 2, okay? So once you have created, or you already, once you have already those specific locations created, okay, what you are going to do is you are going to access here, and on here you are going to add the next action, okay? You are going to create a creature, so just hit create creature, okay? The kind of creature that you are going to create, you need to select variable library, and we are going to select the variable that we just created few minutes ago, that was power up mob, okay? Now, very important, guys, on here, you need to place function library and location offset, okay? Remember that is going to allow us to create some anything or move anything around some specific area, okay? And in the options, you are going to select your first area or your first point. In my case, is disk blue 1 is one of the points that we just created. And what you are going to do is that you are going to use this shift along coordinate axis. The middle one needs to be 0 because it's going to be created on the same height. But we are going to add a random number to the other two arguments, okay? So in the first one, you are going to select function library, math, and random number. In the last one, you are going to do exactly the same. Function library, math, and random number. And very important, guys, the numbers that are going to be there are going to be according to your map. So in my case, I'm placing this at max at 2 blocks away. Why? Because if you see here, the max distance that we have for the secure area is going to be 2 blocks, okay? Why? Because with this, you are going to assure that always the player is going to have something to pick up. You can place, of course, a lot more. You can place 6, 7, but what is going to happen is, remember that we can break the floor with the discs. So if you place that and there is no floor on there, the disc is going just to fall, okay? Instead, on this situation, the player always is going to have the disc around this area, okay? So that's why we need to count on there. And if you see now, by expanding this information, I have the number in negative, so it's going to be minus 2 blocks to the number 2 blocks. And I have just the same here. Oh, okay, this one is actually not working fine, so I need to change it. It's going to be minus 2 to the number 2, okay? And that's it, guys. Another important thing, guys, that I almost forgot. When it says belongs to team, you need to hit and set up as no team, okay? And you are going to copy and paste this, but this time you are going to use the enemy team, okay? So if you were like having the area that was a blue disk number 1, on here you are going to place blue disk number, blue disk, okay? Number 1. And it's just the same. All the other things are going to be just the same. The only thing that change is the original area, the original point. Then you are going to add a new action, okay? The action is going to be assigned, and we are going to select creature setup, okay? The creature setup is going to be very easy. It's going to be setup power up mob as laser disc, okay? Why are using why I'm using laserdisc? Well, Guys, what we are going to do with this is that we are going to be sure that if something change in the map, we are not going to spawn two heads as an example, or two boobs. In this case, we are going to change only one, okay? And then we are going to spawn a disk too. So with this, we are going to be sure that we are not placing too much special objects in the game, okay? So remember, power up setup as laserdisc. Remember, it's going to be the creature that we create for your laserdisc. And that's it. Now, what you are going to do is just copy and paste the two first actions, but this time you are going to change the location. So if you have like red disk here, red disk number 1, you are going to change it to red disk number 2. And with the other, you are going to do the same. Just copy and paste here. And if you have blue disk on here, you are going to change it for blue disk number 2. With that, we are going to have all the different areas covered to execute this, okay? Right now, your game, it's supposed to have all the playable things, and now it's spawning booths, so players will be able to pick up some disc. We only left the tricks with the mounts, okay? So you will be able to create your mounts, and also you will be able to generate this auto mount system that allows you to actually mount the creature that you created right away as soon as it's being created, okay? It's how to open or how to manipulate game files, okay, guys? This is going to be very important because with this, you will be able to understand better how you can add some tricks. As an example, you can change the icons for the items, but these game files are going to be, or this class game files are going to be, or is going to be focused on actually modifying or creating mounts, okay? So let me start first with this, okay? So I'm going to teach you how you can open the game files, not just in computer, also in Android and tablets. Very important, guys. All right, so first let me show you the tools that we use for this kind of things, okay? But if you hit any MiniCamp video, like this one, and you scroll and you show the description, the full description for this one, where it says show more, okay, you are going to see here the same different links, okay? So remember, this is one that says Notepad Plus for computer. You can hit there anytime. For your computer, I'm going to put the link into the comments, but what we have is Notepad Plus. So probably a lot of you in class have seen that I opened this software, okay? And is this one that allows me to create better triggers and better scripts because it's going to be highlighted. It allows me to save a lot of things. And as you see here, I use this to edit my triggers, and it's going to be much comfortable than the MiniWord screen because it doesn't close by itself. It doesn't delete the triggers by itself or the scripts. So it's going to be very easy, okay? Also, will allow you to open the game files like this one. This one is not a script, it's a game file that is going to be for a mount. This one too. Okay, so what you have to do is to access to the link that I'm putting on the chat. Hi, Gabriel, how are you? And you need to search for the last version that is going to be this one. What you do is just hit here where it says download. You wait until it gets downloaded and you install it, okay? Now, for cell phone, we are going to use this software. And very important, guys, this app is not anymore available in the Play Store, and there is a lot of copies of it. If you search in the Play Store, you are going to find something that says easy, but with C, not with S. Explorer or in yellow color, all of them are just copies that like third person do, but they're not going to have the same features. So it's very important you can access to this store. Actually, this is safe, don't worry for that. You are going to hit on download, okay? And when you got download, mine is in Spanish because my web browser is in Spanish, you are going to have this completely downloaded, and I'm going to teach you later what you can do, okay? Apart from that, just like the notepad, we have another software that allows us to edit scripts inside your cell phone, okay? And this one is already into the Play Store. The name is Sublime Text Editor, okay? And I'm also going to put the link right here. So this one is very easy because this one will allow us to create some specific scripts, to edit the scripts, and also to edit the game files, just like this software does. You will have the same, but in your cell phone, and it's going to be much easier, okay? So once you install the software that you require, depending if you are in a computer, in a tablet, or in your cell phone, remember, for Android phones and tablets, you are going to use those two. And for computer, you are going to use Notepad+, okay? Once you have installed that, you will be able to edit the game files. And let me show you how you can access to the game files here in computer first, okay? So what you are going to do is you are going to hit here in Start, and right on there, you are going to type the next thing. Okay, let me show you also with a text here, with a blank text. And let me show you what you are going to see on there. So what you need to type in a computer is percentage AP data percentage, okay? That's what you need to type here. So just type the same thing that I show you. And once you hit that, you press enter, and you are going to have this folder open, okay? So this folder is going to hold most of the game's information, most of the game's data. So what you need to do on this one is that once you are right here, you are going to search for the next folder. So the folder name is going to be MiniWord Data 410, okay? Here is where all the game files are going to be stored for your MiniWord. And then you are going to see this screen. What you need to do is just to hit in data again, and you are going to see this new folder screen that has a lot of folders, okay? I just want to know you are able to hear me, because it seems that some of you are MiniWord. No, actually, all of you are able to hear me. So once you have that information, or you are already accessing to this folder, guys, you are going to do a couple of cool things, okay? So I'm going to teach you this. You are going to see that all the folders that I'm highlighted are going to have the next syntaxes. They are going to start by W here, and they are going to have a lot of numbers, right? Those are going to be your maps, okay? So on here, you are going to see all the files for your maps. That means that on here, you can edit your map. What you have to do to edit your map? You need to search for your map or open any map. And if you see just few files on here, for sure that's not going to be your map, or you need to download it. Okay, as you see, this one is something that is not downloaded in my map. This one instead has a lot of files, okay? That means that this is a map I have downloaded in my game, and probably is going to be mine. But how you can know for sure if this is your map or is not, okay? Let me show you this trick. So there is going to be a file here that is being called, let me put the name here, okay? The name of the file is going to be thumbs, okay? thumbs.png and underscore after that, okay? What we need to do... Hi, Tunley, welcome to the class. What you need to do to be able to know if it's your map is just delete this underscore at the end in the game name, okay? So in here, you are going to hit rename, okay? So On here, you are going to have an option that is being called rename. In my case, in Spanish, is cambiar nombre, but in your case, it's going to be renamed. And once you hit on there, you are going to just delete the last underscore, okay? It's going to tell you that if you change the extension, probably it's not going to work. Just hit yes. And on there, you are going to see the preview of your map. So if the preview matches, that is going to be your map, okay? Very important, guys. If you do that, be sure that you revert the option. You can just hit here and just put the underscore at the end again. So once more, we did this with the name. Now we are going to do the same. And be sure that you copy and paste that small image, and into the copy you can place the name of your map, okay? So you always will need or will see that this is your map. In my case, it could be bunkers. And I'm going to remove once again this underscore. And with this, every time that I open the map, I will know for sure because I see here that says bunkers. And also I can see the image that this is going to be my map, okay? So on here, there's all the files that you can have for your map, even the mobs, even the triggers, all the things are going to be here. But the important folder that we need for this is going to be called mods, okay? In mods, you are going to see 3 new files, okay? Just hit the one that says map default, and then you are going to hit the one that says behavior, okay, guys? You are going to hit the one that says behavior, and on this, you are going to see a lot of folders. So probably by reading, you will know what each folder is going to do. We have an actor that is going to have all our mobs. We have biome, and that is going to have all the personal setup for your terrain. We also have the block one that is going to have all your blocks, the crafting that is going to have all your options, items that is going to have your items, status that is going to have your status, okay? So as you see, all the game files are here, so you can edit the files from here, okay? So now, very important, guys, we are going to do a small pause here because I want to show you how to do the same but with your cell phone, okay? And that's something that I have on video because right now I don't have my cell phone here at my hand and I cannot show you this directly from my cell phone. So this is a small video that I record about how to use, okay? So very important, guys, you're going to see that I'm using the actual tools that I teach you how to install right now. And what you are going to see is that I'm looking here for S-File Explorer, okay? You see it here. Once S-File is going to be open, you see here, it's going to take some time. What you are going to do in S-File Explorer is just hit here. You see where it says internal storage? You are going to hit right on there. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit. And on there, it's going to show you all the folders for your Android device, okay? So if you see, there is here all the folders, but there is one that says Android, okay? You are going to hit on the Android folder. Just a second. And, okay, once you hit an Android, it's taking me on the video a little bit more of time, you are going to have all these 4 folders. There is one that is going to be being called data, okay? This one, the first one, you are just going to open that one. And on there, you are going to see all the personal folders for your apps inside your game. As you see, I have a lot of apps installed here, even Amazon, and I have all the files here. So what you need to do is to scroll down, and there's one that is going to be called com.playmini.com. Also, you are going to see the icon for MiniWord. It's right here. You can see it. Well, that's where you have to hit. Okay, you need to be patient. You need to have a patience to see it. And then you are going to have this folder. It says files. You are going to open it. And once you open files, you are going to have more folders here, okay? So what you have to do is to hit here in mini play, okay? And check what happened when you hit on mini play. Okay, so if you realize, it's just the same folders that we have in computer. So in here you are going to have main data, mini, and data. You are going to hit in data again. And on here, as you see, there are all the same screen with all the same folders. Remember, W and bunch of numbers means that that is your map. And as you see on here, I have a lot of maps in my cell phone. I'm just going to hit in anyone, and on here you can see the same. If you have some few folders, just 5 files, that is not your map. It's something that you didn't download and it's gained from another game, okay? So as you see, I'm exploring folder by folder until I find a folder that actually is going to match with the one I want, okay? As you see, I'm just searching on there, and in a little bit, I'm supposed to find an actual game. Okay, it's taking a little bit of time actually in the cell phone. All right, let's wait a little bit. Okay, it's taking actually a long time. Let me see if. Okay. It seems that I found some folder here. Okay. Now this one. Okay, once you find out your map, okay? Once you find out your map, as you see, all the information right starting from there, and now on, it's going to be the same. So remember, in my computer, I also have those folders, okay? Behavior, logical, resource, and it's the same folders that we are looking right now, right here, as you see, okay? So apart from this part, it's going to be the same. You can follow the same steps. But just to give you an extra show, let me show you in the S file editor. When I hit any of those files, it's going to open Sublime Text Editor, and as you see, you can see the code here, and then you can edit the code here. Okay, as an example, it's just the same as this one. Okay, as you see, it's the same information. You can edit the code right here, okay? So all the things that come after this are going to be the same for all of you guys, okay? So right now I teach you how you can open and edit files in directly in your computer, in your Windows computer, and also in your Android and cell phones, okay? From Android, and your tablets from Android, okay? All the steps that are going to come next are going to be the same, okay? And just I see a Spanish student into the comments, so let me switch to Spanish 1 second. It's Aku. Lo que pasa es que estás en la clase de inglés, por eso no entiendes, pero no te preocupes, yo voy a enseñarte lo mismo, pero en la clase de la tarde, que es en español, ¿vale? La clase de español es a las 7 p.m. hora Colombia, México y Perú, ¿vale? Para que lo tengas en cuenta, no te preocupes, te voy a enseñar lo mismo, pero en español, entonces nos vemos en la tarde. Okay, guys. So, now, with this, you already know where to find the game files, okay? And this is very important because what we are going to do next is to create a mount from 0, okay? So we're going to delete everything, and you are going to hit in ID library, then select creature, and in creature you are going to go to custom, and you are going to get the ID of your vehicles, okay? So my first vehicle is going to be number 2. You see on the screen says ID number 2. The other one is going to be ID number 5, okay? That's going to be for the mobs. Remember, number 2 and number 5, okay? But probably if you don't have a computer, you have to get another way to get that information. And it's simple too. Just hit on developer. On developer, you are going to pick up this one that says handed editor, okay? You are going to remove all the blocks that you have in your hands, and you are going to put the mob egg for your mobs on here. What you are going to do is just to put those mobs in the floor, and once you do that, you will be able to get the ID just by, oh, okay. Well, this is going to happen if you already have on the mount, okay? But as you are not going to have the mount yet, just when you hit right click on your mob, it's going to tell you the ID, just like this example. Let me put another mob here so you will be able to see the example, okay? So it's going to tell you this, and it's going to tell you model ID. So the model ID is the information that you need to copy, okay? By now I'm just testing, so I'm going to drop these mobs. Oh, I'm going to almost fall here. And I'm going to kill this one. Bye, my friends. So now that you have the information, what we are going to do is that we are going to go to the folder that we left. So remember that I was teaching you how to open the game files. So just in the same folder that you learned how to open from MiniWord or from any cell phone that you can use, you are going to access to the one that says behavior, okay? And in behavior, you are going to have all the different folders, but this is very important. There is a folder that doesn't exist on there, and is this one that is being called horse, okay? So what you have to do, you need to create a new folder. The folder name is going to be horse, okay? Just like horse in English. And it's very important, it needs to have the same name, otherwise it's not going to work. So remember, the folder name is going to be horse, all in lowercase, okay? That's very important. Then what you are going to do, you have to create inside of the map, all right? Or inside of the map that you need to create 2 new files, okay? So let me explain how you are going to create those files. I already have my map right here, the map that we are using for learning. I'm just accessing to the same folder that I teach you before, guys, okay? So don't worry for that. As you see on here, I just created also the horse folder. And on here, you need to create 2 files, okay, guys? So how do you know what you have to create on this? So you need to hit new, and you can create a text document. As an example, you have to put the name on it, okay? So just put mount 1, and very important, guys, on the end you will have an extension, so you have to put .johnson, okay? So let me put you the name in here. You have to put, as an example, the name of your mount, but you need to put this after that. You need to put a dot, and then you have to put, okay, that's going to be the full name with extension. Once you do that, you are going to open that file, and you are going to see that it's completely empty, guys, okay? So what we need to do here, we need to import a text from the mount text, okay? So as always, Yeyo is always creating those for you, so you don't have to search for that. So just remember, you are going to access to the page that you have in the link. Oh, actually, well, the video is at this side, so you have on the link on the description, and that actually has that code already added on it, okay? So you need to just scroll down, and on there you are going to see a file that says mount.johnson. And I'm going to put this into the comments too, okay? So you will have this by %. And on there you are going to see this small code. Remember, this is not a script, guys. This is just a setup for your creature, for your mount. So what you have to do is just copy the code that you are going to see there, guys. And you are just going to copy. Be sure once more that this is not translated. Remember that sometimes can happen that this is translated to other language and it's going to give you errors, okay? So just be sure here in the web browser, you always have to show in the original text here, okay? Just do a double check before copying your script, because you can get a lot of errors from there. Just copy that, and you are going to go to the file that you just opened. Remember, in your cell phone, you open this by Sublime Text, and you are going to have this, okay? This is the code to transform a creature into a mount, okay? So let me teach you what we have here, okay? First, we have all these open and close square brackets, normal brackets. So we need to be sure that we are not going to delete or move anything on that, okay? And also pay attention to something. Let me increase the size of this a little bit. Check that on here we have inside two notation marks, a name for a quality that we are going to modify, then we have 2 points and then a number without the space, okay? So that is very important. We cannot change that format, okay? If we do that, it's not going to work. And very important, check that we have a comma after the number in all the sections except at the end, okay? Also notice that we have a comma here. That's very important. Don't delete those commas, okay? And what we are going to do here, to set up our mount, the only thing that we have to play with are those two options, okay? The first one is the ID of your mount. Remember that I just pick up here, like the IDs in MiniWord from my mount, and the first one was the number 2, and the second one was the number 5. So you are going to put the number of your mob on here. And the second option, and this is very important, guys, is which mount we are going to use as base, okay? And this is very important, guys. On here, you need to place an already existing mount, okay? So let me explain how it works. This is the ID for, as an example, the chicken mount, okay? So if you place the chicken mount on here, the chicken mount has a special ability that allows the chicken to have 2 players mount on it. So it's going to get the same skill, all right? So if you want to use a jumping creature as an example that can fly, you need to pick up a mount that already flies on here, okay? So I already have some tricks pick it up for you here, okay? So just give me a second and let me search for those. Okay, so as an example, and I'm going to put those into the chat, so you will have this information by first hand, okay? That are going to be UIDs with specific skills, okay? And let me explain what those are going to do, okay? Just a second, I see that there is not in Spanish, and it's like in Spanish and in English. So let me change that. Okay, so this is going to be the different skills that we can place on there. All right, so if I place 3405, the creature will be able to do the super jump, okay? So that means that if you hold the space, it's going to accumulate force, and when you release the space, it's going to jump higher, okay? This number, so notice that is the same number we have here, okay? So right now my mount is just jumping high, that's it. The second one is 3441. It's the one that allows you to have 2 players mounting the same mount. Next, we have 3415. And what it's going to do is that when it's going to have this movement like the slime mount, like the round monster mount, that is going to be like in small jumps, okay? It's not an extra ability, it's just that your mount is going to look like it's jumping a little bit. Then we have this one that is very important. This one will allow you to fly for a while, but you need to jump, okay? You press space and it's going to do a small jump and a small jump and a small jump. And if you get out of energy, the mount is just going to fall, okay? Now, 3438 will allow you to hold space to just get like an impulse. So imagine you're here, you just jump in the air and you hold the space. So it's going to like be pushed very fast here, okay? And finally, this option, the 3447, it's going to be a creature that can goes into the water, and that just like the water creatures that we have in MiniWorld, okay? Okay, well, now guys, this is going to be the important information. So if you are going to create a new creature for your game, just use the ID here, the name here, and then you have all these other options, okay guys? So what you are going to do, in main HP is the amount of life that is going to have your creature. So be sure that the two of them match, don't change those two. Now, max and min land speed is the speed of your creature, and this is going to be the jump, okay? So 120, it's going to be 12 blocks, okay? Actually, it's not going to work like that, but it's something similar. This is going to jump around 8 blocks, okay? You need to play with it. And all the other things, you need to keep it like they are. Of course, I cannot place your comments on here. So once you edit and copy this, be sure that you just save it here. And your creature already is going to have a mount on it, okay? So guys, that's how you create the mounts. Now, if you access to the game and you already saved this, just go ahead, access, and you are going to find out that actually that creature, it's going to be able to be mounted. So let me show you the example very quickly, okay? So I already have those creatures created here. I'm going to remove it, okay? And then I'm going to start the game again, and I'm going to try to open just the same, okay? Check this. I'm going to access to my creatures, and I won't be able to, because those creatures cannot be mounted. And that's, guys, how you can create a mount. Alright, so at this point, you will be able to play with that. You will be able to actually create some mounts, okay? Okay, check this, guys. As you see, I'm not able to mount inside the creature. I'm just pressing left click, and I won't be able to do it because the creature is just a normal creature. But if I just re-add those files into the folder that we create, that is the horse, and please notice that is just the same information that you have seen here, okay? It's the same information because I already created like that, and I just play the game again. I will be able to mount the creatures. And check this very quickly. Okay guys, so now I just create my creature, and I will be able to mount that creature because the file is already added. So that's it. That's how you can create creatures with different skills. Okay guys, notice that this is the super jump creature. Okay, and that's how you create those. The class